Y'all didn't have like jazz and blues. Y'all, that was Kansas City, right? Y'all was
Hey,
you
man.
grew up fucked up though. Your upbringing was some shit.
Welcome, welcome.
Back.
We sure are.
Yes, sir.
Episode 6.
That's right. TunetheFork podcast.
Thank everybody for joining.
Yep.
Appreciate you showing up, brother.
Always, man. Appreciate you for hosting.
Yeah, we still in the land of the living.
Barely.
People
Barely.
ain't burn this bitch down.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Which kind of leads us to the whole topic.
Yeah. First, I'm Life.
I'm James.
Yeah. And this is TunetheFork podcast, man. Thank y'all for joining.
Yeah. We working it out, figuring it out,
Yes, sir.
getting it right and wrong at the same time.
Hey, man. It's
Part
part.
shit dope.
Man, it's a process, man.
Yeah, it is.
We moving.
There is no spoon.
Yep. There is no spoon.
We've been spending a lot of time talking about the fucking Matrix, bro,
Yes, sir. Yep.
and how just deep the movie is, and all
Yeah.
the symbolisms, and
Yeah.
how it draws from a lot of spiritual practices,
Yep. Yep.
throughout many millennia, and just how, and I don't even know how you and I kind of landed at the same fucking spot without even knowing that we landed at the same spot a few weeks back.
Yeah, I think we were both individually checking the shit out. I know I was for a
Yeah.
minute, and I think we just happened to just bring up the conversation and the shit clicked.
Because we was talking about it for damn near an hour before one of the last
Yep,
podcasts,
yep,
and when
Yeah.
Wednesday popped off,
yeah,
and I'm watching these motherfuckers scale, I was like, I didn't even know you could climb that joint.
I ain't even.
White
ain't either.
Spider-Man. Well, Spider-Man was white, except for the Morales cat.
Yeah,
Like these motherfuckers are scaling the side of a building
yeah.
to do what?
To do what?
To prove what?
To prove what? To attain what? That shit was deep.
And the whole idea of the concept, if people don't know, there's a scene in The Matrix where Neo goes to the Oracle,
Yep.
and while he's waiting to see her, he sits down and he sees this little boy fuck with these spoons and move them around and all of that. And Neo sits down and actually tries to do it himself, and he's looking sideways, and he can't do it. And the little boy was like, "What are you doing?" I think someone, I can't remember the exact
Yeah. Yeah.
language, but he was like, "I'm trying to bend the spoon."
Yeah.
And the little boy was like, "You got to learn that there is no spoon." And when I saw the people scaling, shit's wild, bro.
It is.
I'm like, all I could think about is there is no spoon.
Yeah.
And the concept of the spoon for me really is an adversary, or
Yeah.
something that we see
Yeah.
outside of ourselves.
Yeah.
And that thing that we can see outside of ourselves can be associated with politics, could be associated with, gender,
Yeah.
race,
Yeah.
sexual orientation,
Yeah.
nationality,
Yep.
religion. I mean, literally, bro, anything.
Anything that separates you.
And it's not real in
Yep.
the same way that the spoon wasn't real.
Yeah.
And as much as motherfucking Neo tried
Yeah.
to bend that spoon,
Yeah.
he really couldn't understand it until he realized that there was no spoon, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know, with all of this division and all of these people, I mean, even as I sit back and watch these people and say they're wild
Yeah.
and all of this and that, like how how do we recognize that there is no spoon
Yeah.
in our lives?
Yeah. And it's those who don't know, man, The Matrix 1, I can't think of anybody that hasn't seen or heard of the movie.
Right.
With Keanu Reeves, Larry Fishburne, Lawrence Fishburne, some other cats. Came out what, 90, whatever it was. Yeah, and the concept of the movie was that these guys were existing in a world that was created by computers that wasn't real. So the concept of the spoon not existing is that this thing that you're trying so hard to move and bend with your, with your quote unquote mind or quote unquote thoughts or visions or expert or any of that, you're trying to bend something that doesn't exist. So you're using rules in a world that's not real, right? So you're trying to do something when instead of understanding that that thing is not there. So bending it is not really bending it. You're just understanding that it's not there. Yeah. And I saw that's deep because I forgot my man's name. He's a spiritual leader and he's on YouTube a lot. I'm gonna get his name and put it up there. But he was talking, he does like these seminars, and he was talking to this lady, and she was talking about how every time she feels like her heart is about to open, that she feels it closing, right? You know what I'm saying? Like when she feels like she's in a position to overcome something and her heart becomes more open to, to accepting and loving or whatever, and then she feels it closing. And she was asking, how do I keep my heart open to him? And he was like, you don't have to keep your heart open because you are already as wide as the universe. So you are attaching something to your heart or what you think is your heart, right? And you're closing it. But in reality, whatever feeling that you have, it doesn't exist in terms of how you react to it. Like you are already open. You are already as wide as open as the universe. Mm-hmm. You have to understand that and not limit yourself by thinking that whatever attachment you have narrows you and closes you off, right? Yeah. You create that and you can uncreate that. So, and that speaks too to the spoon thing and how we focus so much on the thing, not realizing that there's something that tells you that that thing is.
And how do you focus on a thing with so much intensity and energy and not become that thing?
Yeah. Oh, that's deep.
Because I think that is the downside to it.
Yeah.
And also the solution to freeing yourself from it.
Yeah.
Because what you're actually, if I feel as strongly as I do about something, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm having a conversation with you. Yeah. And you feel just as equally strongly about something, but in the opposite of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do we communicate that in a way? Somebody has to put themselves in a position to receive.
Right.
Because at that point, both people are giving. Yeah. Because I'm actually creating the very thing that I am resisting. Yep. So you've got to kind of be the opposite of it in a way. Yeah. And so like even as we go out and we reduce ourselves to, I think, the point, like we are all as wide as the universe. Yeah. But at the same time, we've been given these labels that we didn't create. Yep. That makes us extremely small. Yep. But we associate so deeply with. Yeah. And our ways of quote unquote fighting that or
Yeah.
bending those spoons
Yeah.
is to become a spoon.
Right.
In
right,
a way.
Right. Yeah.
Because I have to at some point in time, if I want there to be understanding, because I don't think that most of this stuff is about understanding.
Yeah, I don't think it is. That's the key.
No matter what it is, bro. And I don't even.
Yeah.
I don't see enough people having these conversations. I posted on Facebook the other day where I said it is much easier to label something than it is to understand it.
Yep.
It's like when I heard Dave Chappelle talk about like these people aren't crazy.
Yep.
There's something that is going on.
Yep.
Whether you see it, understand it, feel it, or believe it or not.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that feel something.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
see something that you don't see.
That's right.
The idea that they're wrong and to be dismissive
Yep.
only makes that thing stronger.
Yep.
Because maybe a large part of that maybe they just want to be seen. Maybe
Yeah.
they just want to be understood and heard.
Yeah.
And like just a bunch of kids just lashing out. I don't know really what it is, man, but I think a part of it is just finding it. Let's take the shortest path, the easiest path, and that is to label the motherfuckers wild.
Yeah. That's it.
To like,
Yeah.
and like, thank
Yeah.
God we weren't down there
Yeah.
participating.
Yeah.
Thank God we are woke. We have the answers.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
doing it the right way.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
really
We're
we're them
Yep.
in another area of
That's
our
right.
lives.
Yep.
But this shit just ain't publicized.
Yeah, we're just we're just the other side of the same coin.
Yep.
Like and I said to you earlier, man, they a lot of times have legitimate beef, but that beef is not it's with the spoon. You know what I mean? It's the easiest. They find an adversary in whatever someone tells them the adversary is.
Yeah.
And not in what the actual adversary is. So we create adversaries that don't even exist.
And so when we respond to these challenges that we see in our lives, what's the best way for us to analyze the situation in a way that actually addresses what the reality of it is, as opposed to dealing with it? Because I think, I'll just stop there and then see what your thoughts are about that.
I tried that, man, and I tried to look at, I tried to first empathize and understand what their gripe is, like what would make them respond so emotionally, right, over this, over whatever they feel like is happening. Is it this cat that just said, do it? Because it had to be something there for him to be able to connect with in order for it to be something that would cause that level of response, for them to even be there in the beginning. Like, so there has to be a feeling that they're expecting something from this country that they're not getting, right? And it's not, I mean, the easiest way to dismiss them is to say, like you just said, they're just having tantrums and they're just, kids who don't get their way. But, the vast majority of these people aren't like these well-off, upper middle class folks. There are people who are struggling. And I tried to say to myself, tell a motherfucker in Ohio who used to work at a plant that closed, and now this motherfucker's struggling finding work. It's in a pandemic, he's a whatever repair, he can't do it. Tell that motherfucker about white privilege. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's a conversation you can't have with him. So he's looking at TV like, the fuck they talk about white privilege? I'm struggling. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't recognize that. That's not something that I'm I'm a part of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that there are a lot of people who connect to that, and then they have their media outlets and they have their social media outlets that they go to, and there are people who agree, who stoke that shit, who have similar stories, and I mean there's the immigration piece. There are all these different pieces that come together that create this group.
Yeah.
And then they attach it to political parties. So they say whatever is your political affiliation, that makes you my enemy. So then they go to this liberal conservative thing, because that's what media does. There are conservative media outlets, and then there are liberal media outlets. All of those problems that Joe has from Ohio, that shit sits right with conservative, whatever the fuck that means. You know what I'm saying? With that spoon. And they will ride for that shit, like, and attach themselves, and that shit stokes and stokes and stokes, and then you're here. So the first thing is to take away to sift through all of the bullshit labels and terms and flash phrases and sexy words and all that shit. Strip it down to a motherfucker's feeling like he's not getting from his country what he think he should get.
But when you
The same way we feel that way sometimes.
and when you break it down, bro, they've done a really good job of getting us to jump in the trick bag.
Yep.
Because
Oh, yeah.
what's built into even how we address it is I just sit back and I observe, man.
Yeah.
I try to, I should say.
Yeah.
As best as I can.
Yeah.
You'll hear people say, this ain't our fight.
Right.
Who the fuck is our?
Right.
Who's
Right.
our?
Right.
I'll hear people say, white people tripping.
Yeah.
I'll hear people say, because one thing I like about Old Boy, and I can't remember, let me focus. There are all of these things that we have built into our response
Yeah.
that keep us from responding in maybe the most constructive, most beneficial way.
And those things are told to us.
We didn't create them.
We didn't create
We didn't
them.
create them at all.
We ain't have no conversations with anybody to create a position that's contrary to their position. We were told this is what they think, so we're told this is what we should think.
Because listen to this. When black folks is out there protesting for some shit,
Right.
if white people said this ain't our fight, again, the question is who is our?
Yep.
There's a reality that we all experience
Yeah.
that we separate
Yes.
and walk around with, that we have a greater need than someone else. But
Yes.
we're only looking at it from our perspective, because there really is no other way to do it if you don't have a process built into your evaluation.
Or we look at it from what they tell us, how we associate ourselves, right? There's an outlet, there's a media outlet or a social media outlet that tells you how you're going to think about whatever happens. So if something happens, right, it's not the thing that happens, it is how those things associated to it feel about it. Like if conservatives feel like that this was a bad thing, then all of them feel that way. If liberals feel, and so we fall right along with, we don't even analyze the shit for ourselves. We don't sit and take it in or research it or have valid factual discussions about the thing. We just believe what other people say, and we jump on it because of social media is instant. Like that, we on it. Like that Jussie Smollett shit, we jumped on that shit before the day was even out after the next day it happened. And ain't asked no questions.
And I think it's because we have so much practice
Yep.
doing that.
Yep.
Because even when you sitting and you having a conversation with like your friend, as an example, with a friend, and the friend might say some shit. You like, first thing you might say is, nah.
Yep.
You won't ask any more questions. As soon as you say, nah, or we might say, or.
Yeah.
Or we might say, and.
Yeah.
Or we might say, not really.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
These things that we are projecting in the world,
Yep.
that we observe other people doing,
Yeah.
we actually do in our own individual lives.
Yeah, that's key. That's key to say that as above, as it is above, as it is below. We do that on those levels as well as in our personal, no matter what this conversation is.
No matter what it is.
Right.
Because we're well rehearsed.
Ready.
In judging.
Ready.
In disagreeing.
Always ready.
Like, and we've got it down so packed
Yep.
that
Yeah.
it is a muscle that we will flex very quickly.
Yeah.
And it really goes and what I find disturbing about, I don't want to say disturbing, that sounds too dramatic. What I find really revealing is that process is something that we're actually getting worse at.
Yeah.
And doing more.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that's going to ultimately end up. As a person who, man, my temper, bro, is magnificent. And it goes from 0 to 100 extremely quick. And so I'm learning to try to be better with that shit. I'm trying to listen more, man.
Shit.
And I'm trying to understand the things that are triggered in other people when they don't listen. I get a motherfucker wanting to focus on the spoon.
Right.
So having this conversation isn't sitting back saying I'm greater or better or even I got the answer.
Right.
I'm just saying like a part of watching motherfuckers scale a wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
To prove something or to express something.
Right.
Without me even saying I know what it is.
Right.
Maybe I leave room and just say that these people are in pain.
Right. And ask why. Why are they? What you're right.
Because what would I want someone to do, bro? What would I want someone to do if I was scaling a goddamn wall?
Ask what the hell's going on. Like you would feel like you want to scale that wall.
For real. Like what would I want to do? What would I want somebody to do?
Right.
And if I'm not doing for them what I would want them to do for me, then shame on me.
Yes. And right. And also saying what would make me scale a wall to try to at least put myself in a position to understand what would make them feel that way. Like I'm standing at the Capitol. What would make me say, I'm going to scale this goddamn wall? I'm feeling so motherfucking riled up about something. I'm going to scale this wall and get off up in here. You know what I'm saying? Because there's something there, man. It's something there. And you just can't dismiss it as just tantrums or whatever, because people are struggling, man. People are hurting. This country eats everything that comes at it, man. And that includes everybody. And the faster we understand that and understand that the adversary is not who someone tells it is, it's a greater thing, man. It's something else happening.
Bro, and you know what's so crazy? It's not sexy to say, listen.
It's not.
It's not manly.
Because it don't make you look smart. Yeah.
To say, I understand.
Yeah,
or
man.
to be patient. Yeah. Like none of these, the most elegant, constructive, loving things a motherfucker can do for another human are not popular.
Yeah, that's right.
Are not.
Why is that?
I
think that also, to your point of why we're quick to judge, because that's what we do to ourselves.
Yeah.
We see ourselves, the voice that we have in ourselves, in our heads, is so critical and so judgmental, so mean. And we do that we say that about ourselves. So of course, anything that's outside of us, we use that same voice, you know what I'm saying? That same critical, mean ass, judging ass voice that we use on ourselves.
Man, we have so many conversations about people, and labeling them is an extremely comfortable thing.
Easy.
And I get the reason. Like there's way too much that we're processing.
Yeah.
On a regular basis.
Yep.
And it's valuable to be efficient.
Yes.
So we can move things out of the way, and we've gotta. And the faster we're able to evaluate risk and threat and put them into certain categories.
Yeah.
Is a benefit. But a lot of the things that we're doing, and a lot of the contrasts that we're making are ones that we're making that aren't benefiting from us. I get the idea of wanting to get something, quote unquote, off your plate. And that plate might be a wild motherfucker.
Right.
So I don't really have a lot of time to analyze why you wilding.
Yeah.
I just see you as wilding. And so let me put you over here.
Right.
While I go try to be less wilding.
Yeah.
And so through the process of putting you over there though, I'm also not seeing you.
Right.
And maybe the process of me doing that, I'm probably doing that to somebody who is really close to me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm doing it to myself, or certain parts of myself. I'm putting it off and not seeing it, but because it's a process that we do so quickly and easily, because it's beneficial to be efficient in that way. Sometimes we got to go back and take a look and be like, okay, what are we putting over in these spaces? Because maybe some of the stuff that we're saying as one thing might actually be something else.
Yeah. And also and this is not new, it's just something that happens at record speeds now. Before, we would have to wait for the news to happen in order to form our opinion about something. So bottom line is, we allow other people to form our opinions. So we don't go into it with any level of understanding or try to gain any level of understanding. We go into it with looking for someone to give us what we think about it. So we go, as soon as anything happens, we go to our favorite media outlet, whether it's Instagram, whether it's, whatever, MSNBC, Fox, whatever it is, and they tell us what we think. Mm-hmm. And then we go with that. We don't even, immediately we go. And it's been like that with the news before. It was newspapers. People bought papers based on how they sit. You know what I'm saying? They want to validate, or first they want to get their opinion, and then they want that opinion validated. And that, you know what I'm saying? So there's no space for understanding. There's no space to ask, why? Why the fuck are they doing this? Why? What is going on with these group of people that would make them feel this way to do? And and they don't either. So they sit at home and they watch their TVs and they look at their Facebook and on their timeline when they saw all of the protests over the summer. They said the same thing. They wilding. They don't even, you know what I'm saying? We don't even, and somebody said nah.
The same shit that they judge other people for doing.
Which shows me that what they felt about that thing was what someone told them to feel about that thing. They didn't feel that way, because if they did, they wouldn't have done the same shit.
We are offloading a very important function, and that is the processing.
Yep, that's right.
We're offloading it.
That
It's
is
almost like, and as you're talking, I'm thinking about this. It's like, so there's this damn, because we go to the media outlet, tell us what to feel. We're not saying that in the process. But
that's
tell
it.
us what to feel, tell us what to think so that I can go out and repeat it.
Yes.
So it's almost like saying the world is saying, here's the spoon.
Yes.
Go take it.
Yeah.
And then we go take it and we repeat it and we post.
Yeah.
Here's the spoon, guys.
Yeah.
Here is the problem.
Yeah.
White privilege. Here is the problem. White people scaling a fucking wall. Here is the problem. Republicans.
Yeah.
Donald Trump. No matter what it is.
Yeah.
Not realizing that that's not our thought.
That's right.
It's something that somebody else gave us because to the point.
Right.
If it takes more work
Yes.
to understand,
Yes.
you gotta actually delay some shit.
Yes.
You gotta suspend a large part of your life.
Yes.
One of the things I fuck with what's the brother's name? Noam Chomsky. Shout out to Noam Chomsky.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Bro, this motherfucker same with Dick Gregory. I heard he reads like 10, 15 newspapers a day. Noam Chomsky reading 20 newspapers a day from around the world.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is spending that much time? Now, when you listen to these brothers,
Yeah.
they're going to have a very nuanced, broad,
Yes.
maybe extremely wild
Yeah.
perspective
That's right.
about something.
Right.
But that's because they actually took the time
Yes.
to do it.
And it's their perspective.
It's theirs.
It's not what someone else
we're
told them.
offloading that responsibility because
Right.
we got other shit to do.
And it's also because we want to be first on the motherfucking social media, putting it out
right.
there.
We don't want to be right.
Right. We just want to be out there first, and having a thought that someone else gave us.
The second worst thing to being wrong is being last.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and we don't mind revising, but there's a cost associated with it. And the motherfuckers
Maybe.
who need to revise,
Yeah.
don't revise with the same energy as they put out there.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes, like when you fuck something up, bro, and you went strong fucking it up, sometimes
man.
you gotta seek to repair with the same energy
Veracity.
as you sought to
And
initially.
And again, we want to it's so deep, man, that the people who give us these opinions, they don't do the research to understand the full complexity of what's happening. They just form their opinion. Maybe they got it from someone. We don't fucking know. But we take that shit and it comes in meme form. It comes in these little snippets of information. And that shit becomes the overarching opinion. We attach these sexy terms to it, right? And that everybody does it. And it has to fit within our little tribe of what we feel like this, political bag is. But that's all the spoon. And none of that shit exists for real. It's all something that somebody gave you in order to profit from you. So if you on MSNBC, they give you that perspective so that you'll watch MSNBC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fox News, the same shit. They give you that perspective so you will watch Fox News. They don't give a fuck about the implications or consequences or how stoking that fire will turn into whatever the fuck it turns into, right? They don't give a fuck. If this whole goddamn country burns to the ground, they still gonna exist. So it don't matter to them. And there will still be people watching and they will report on the shit. Let's say it was a motherfucking tomorrow, it's a civil war, motherfuckers out there really wilding. You know what MSNBC gonna do? Report on the shit. You know what Fox News gonna do? Report on the shit. You think they're gonna help? Fuck no. They're gonna report on it and profit from it. So motherfuckers gonna watch it, watch the commercials, they're gonna get. So it's all done. It's all created for a motherfucker to profit from the shit.
Dude, and think about this.
with no conscience.
We're asking people to do something that we're not willing to do.
Yep.
When you break it down, basically, what are we really asking somebody else to do when they have a strong opinion about something?
We don't know.
That is, change your opinion.
Right.
Change your perspective.
Right. Right.
Listen, like all of these, but
Yes.
that's an extremely difficult thing to do that a lot
Yes.
of people don't want to be honest about.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's hard, because it's something that we struggle with doing.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
and the notion that that somebody is going to go out and challenge all of these strong beliefs that they have
Yeah.
one day and then just wake up and be like, oh, okay, you told me to do it. Okay, do it. It's not stuff that we're doing. I'm concerned only to the degree that I feel like it's going to be a lot of motherfucking tension, a lot of beefing, a lot of violence.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. Honestly, man, because that's how I grew up.
That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm ready for.
No, I mean, it's, and that's another reason why I want to be so open to understand, man, and to try to prevent it and to try to do the best. Because everybody ain't about that work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
in an effort to try to prevent these kinds of things from occurring, man, but you've got to make sure you do your level best. Or let me rephrase that. I'm doing my part to make sure I'm saying and understanding. But even as I'm doing that, I just don't even see, like, I feel like shit's gonna get bad, man, because I feel like people are getting further and further away from the center.
Yeah.
And there is nothing good that can come from division.
Yeah.
And everybody is getting a stronger and stronger attachment to their spoon. These politics have turned into religion, and we already know how many motherfuckers got murked over religion.
Still.
Like even to this day.
Yep.
So if we're
You're right.
If we're turning politics into a religion, if we're turning racial identity
Yep.
into a religion. I was listening to a guy, I follow a dude named Neely Fuller. Love him to death, man. I listen to him like nonstop. He one of the things that he says, he defines, his definition of religion is a strong belief backed by action. And so if you feel extremely strongly about some shit and you back it up with action, then that can be a form of your religion.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people doing some shit about politics. Like, they didn't just sit at their house and say,
That's how I feel.
this how I feel.
Yeah.
I keep saying scale the wall, bro. Because I saw them doing that, I was just like, wow.
Nuts. Yeah. And so there are, like anything, it's a spectrum. So you got the people who feel strongly, whatever, they feel strongly about something that someone else told them to feel strongly about. But then you have the level of extremity that falls into mental health, like extreme responses. Now you got people who want to get out here and really fuck some shit up. You know what I'm saying? You got somewhere in the middle of that is a mob mentality that everybody's out here doing it. I'm gonna get out here and do it too. Want to go on the Capitol? I'm gonna go on the Capitol. You know what I'm saying? This level that I'm pretty sure was a lot of people out there was like, what the fuck are y'all doing? I ain't.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm down for whatever, but I ain't. So the people who fall in that extreme, once they start seeing more and more people, or it becomes popular, so people who really wouldn't give a fuck about who just not, they have a level of mental illness that shifts to make them extremely violent, and they attach that to politics. I mean, they've done it. People have done it before. People bombed clinics and fucking bombed Nashville a couple weeks ago. I mean, shoot up shit. I mean, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But that's all. They attach that to those political identities that they feel. You know what I'm saying? But it's really, they're just all the way ill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it happened. It happened. We call Islamic extremists. It's the same shit, but instead of attaching it to Islam and willing to put on a motherfucking vest and go do that for Islam, motherfuckers is willing to do that for whatever political identity they identify with. And that's the dangerous piece. I mean, you know, we can possibly have a conversation and I can make some adjustments, you can make some adjustments, and we can have an understanding, right? And move forward with an understanding of what's really happening. But some motherfuckers are so already, they were just looking for something to attach it to. There's no conversation with that. But the more that they stoke that fire, the more those extremes are gonna join right along with it.
And even with the idea of them being, maybe the world's extreme, man.
Maybe.
And maybe that the motherfuckers out here blowing up shit and running through shit. Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm at a point now where I'm questioning it all. It's like, even when I be talking about this ADHD shit, ain't nothing wrong with them kids. Something wrong with the world.
That's right.
And so, like, if I'm going to say that they are being extreme, then I'm almost basically saying, well, like, the world is an extremely fucked up place.
Yes.
For people.
Yes.
For certain people.
For people who live on that fringe, on that edge of reality and that little fuzzy area that they're now switching over, ready to do whatever, the world is a crazy ass place from their vantage point.
But so, in my mind, I equate it to fruit. What is this world producing? Those people weren't created in a test tube.
Yeah.
This is what we shit out.
Yeah.
We leave behind
motherfuckers
in pain,
yes,
disconnected,
yes, isolated,
disenfranchised, isolated, unseen, unheard. We walk by homeless people every goddamn day. And if they crying or wilding, we say something wrong with them. And like, this is the byproduct of the world that we've created, or at least participate in recreating. And we can sit in the corner and say, I'm doing my part by voting, or I'm doing my part by what's the word? Reducing, by recycling, or whatever it is that, and all of that matters too. But understanding that all of this shit we are contributing to. We're not absolved from the world that we live in. And we benefit. We got to be honest about the fact that we benefit from this shit. Everybody on some level. Because here's the story that I think I struggle with. We are all a part of a majority group in some way, shape, or form. And that extends to us a privilege. When we wake up in the morning, let me rephrase that. I don't want to say we. When I wake up in the morning, bro, I don't think about the fact that I can walk. That makes me a member of a dominant group. Able-bodied motherfuckers. And so I don't think about what it's like to see. That makes me a part of a dominant group. But the motherfucker who wakes up, who can't see, understands what the world that has been created for unseen people. or the world that has been created for the people who are not able-bodied.
Yeah.
And so we're all a part of a dominant group.
Yeah.
That we have to accept the fact that there are benefits that come from that.
Yeah.
And how much are we making the world better places for the people around us who aren't a part of those groups?
Yeah.
Because there are groups that matter above and beyond just black and white and sexual orientation, like real shit that motherfuckers actually struggle with.
Yeah.
And not to say the other shit isn't real, but these are just as real.
Right.
But because they don't have a group that speaks loudly for them,
Right.
like they kind of go to the side. And then, dude, and this is just about on human shit. Don't get to talking about motherfucking dolphins and animals and shit. Like, I struggle every day with the fact that I got this, not every day, that'd be a lie. I struggle often with the idea of owning a cat and the fact that she ain't living her motherfucking best life because she confined to 4 motherfucking walls. She's supposed to be out doing some shit.
Hunting, killing some shit.
Killing some shit. Hunting some shit down. Fucking. You know, whatever it is that she want to do. She wasn't born to be in this bitch, but I recognize that, man. And it's hard for me to walk around and talk about me being better than somebody because, and I might be vegan in one area and in fact still I'm sitting on a leather couch.
Yeah.
Like, all of it is wild.
Yeah.
All of it's hypocritical. All of it's contradictory. All of it is true and false.
It all is, man. And you can only do what you can do. You know what I'm saying? If you're making an effort to make a difference, even if it's small, it's still a difference. It's still a ripple.
But all of those things can be true without me damning and condemning other human beings.
That's the key piece
for
right
doing
there.
the best that they motherfucking
That's
can.
the key piece right there.
Because that is the trick bag. I could be super hyper contradictory over here and then sit back and look. I saw somebody the other day talking about how a motherfucker was going off on somebody for not doing something. And they hung up the phone and did the same thing. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking and I'm like, you just wilded out. I didn't say nothing out loud. I'm like, you just wilded out on this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then you hang up to do what it was that you were judging.
Dog, it's always comes all the way, when you break it all the way down, is how we interact with ourselves. How the voice and the narrative and the stories that we tell ourselves. And that is the crux of how we interact with the world around us. If we're extremely critical of ourselves, if that's the voice that we use, then we're looking to validate that voice in how we treat other people. So, you know, we live in a world that's nothing but judgment. Like, everything is displayed to judge. You know what I'm saying? Everything is put on Front Street so other motherfuckers can judge it, good or bad. That's the other part. You don't see that that's the same thing. If somebody praising you, that don't mean that you're great. That just means that they're praising you. Then tomorrow, if you did something that they don't like tomorrow, they will motherfucking hate you.
They're gonna be chewing your ass
You know what I'm saying? You can make a piece of art that's amazing today, but let you make something that those same people don't agree with. You're trash tomorrow. So that judgment, man, that's our existences. That's the American way, man, is to feel like that you're in a position to pass judgments on everything. And also to feel like you're in a position that you have to put things out for, as we make a podcast, for judgment and consumption. So, and then, I mean, and America is violent, man. Everything we watch on TV is violent.
Yeah.
Everything we interact with, games and all that shit that's who we are.
But that's a part of ownership, man, and taking responsibility. We gotta own, like, we don't have to do nothing. We can continue to be completely motherfucking ignorant.
Right.
We can continue to see the spoon.
Right.
We can continue to think that we are part of the solution,
right,
not the problem.
Right.
And we will suffer because all of those things are illusions.
Right.
They're not real. The reality is we're one, we're connected.
All of us.
Everything that we do matters.
Right.
And that although blind spots exist, we are doing the best that we can. It's just connect with people who remind you of who you are.
That's it.
Who point out when you wilding.
Yeah.
And who you feel comfortable with pointing out when they're wilding. Yeah. Because that is all really that you can motherfucking do, and help people and see yourself in these other people.
That's the key, man. Once you start to see yourself, or if you see your struggle in other people, if you listen long enough, you're gonna hear something that resonate with you. You're gonna even in the people scaling the wall. If you listen and sit, like I said, sift through the bullshit, the catchphrases and the talking points and all that shit, and listen to what some of the people are saying, it's the same. You can identify with the same gripes, but like I said, there's things in place that makes those gripes that puts us against each other, and and in that struggle against each other, it's an eternal struggle because there's no solution for it. Because the point is us to be adversaries. Yeah. It's not to resolve it, it's to continue. Republicans and Democrats create adversarial relationships that profit them. Yeah. They don't believe the shit that they
sit on the back end and hang out with one another.
Exactly.
Like you voted down a bill and they'll get on the motherfucking floor talking about I condemn you. And the motherfuckers will be in the cafeteria together.
They at dinner
talking about
drink.
where the hoes at. And we sitting up here thinking that they the same with countries.
We live and die based on the shit that they say they stand for, the platform they stand for. They don't give a fuck. They create adversarial relationships and points of view to profit from the shit. They make money arguing. You know what I'm saying? It's when they write laws, it's those laws half of the time, 60, 75% of the time, it's so much other shit involved in that law that they really want. They just write the law to get the other shit that they want in it. And why they don't give a fuck about none of that conservative, liberal shit. They could give a fuck less about that shit. That shit is created so that we can fight. Oh, nigga, you a motherfucking conservative. You can't be. Man, them motherfuckers out having dinner together, drinking and shit.
Pro-life.
Talking shit. That's all bullshit.
Motherfucker walking around pro-life had 10 abortions.
Right. 7 kids on the side, but they supposed to be motherfucking a conservative, Christian point of view. These motherfuckers out here bugging. That shit is created, dog. That's all a facade created for us to fight amongst each other while they profit from it.
And so
the spoon.
I anticipated this being a relatively short joint because I think the point of the spoon piece, from my perspective, man, was just to make sure that there's a voice out there that is saying, be still.
Yeah.
Don't be so quick to slap a label on something.
Yeah.
Don't try to understand where people, not those people, but just people in general, the person in your life, your kid, the motherfucker who you work with, whoever you feel is your adversary, more than likely is not. Whatever force you feel is keeping you from something, more than likely is not.
That's right.
It is just like Neo when he was trying to fucking bend the spoon.
Yeah.
That person at your job, the motherfucker scaling the wall. And I'm gonna say that forever.
That's my man.
Like, it's because it's easier to repeat what everybody else is repeating on social media.
That's right.
It's easier to do that.
Yeah.
It's easier to say this ain't our fight.
Yeah.
It's It's almost like saying it's easy to see yourself in Barack Obama.
Yeah.
And it's harder to see yourself in Donald Trump.
That's right.
But the reality, you in both of them motherfuckers.
Dog, we exist in Donald Trump in the same way, you know what I'm saying?
That
Not
we
at the
do
same
a
scale.
positive person.
That's right.
And so
That's right.
it's easy. We gotta stop taking the easy road.
Yeah.
And because it's only until you get to the point in the path where you see yourself in that other person, where a lot of the spoon actually dissolves.
Yep.
Because the moment you can see yourself in someone else is the moment you can start to extend a little bit more grace.
That's right.
You can start seeing a little bit more the
empathy,
all of these things that are needed for healing and for understanding to take place. Yeah. Because the shit that we doing now, bro, ain't gonna work.
Nah.
And the majority of the motherfuckers who encourage this type of behavior will not make it.
Yeah.
When shit get bad.
Yeah.
Your kids ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
Your wife ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
And it is much better for us to try to find now whatever gonna happen is gonna happen.
Right.
And whatever the universe gonna say and whatever gonna come up out of that shit gonna come up out of it.
Right.
But if I had to choose a path to growth, to understanding, to a better world, I'm choosing the path of changing me and doing the work that I need to do, as opposed to sitting back and judging and waiting for other people to do some shit.
Yeah, and it always boils down to, dog, when in the rinse, when all the rest of the cycles have happened, it always boils down to when you look at yourself and when you have those conversations with yourself, what are you saying to yourself? You know what I'm saying? And how that relates to how you see other people. Mm-hmm. Are you giving yourself empathy? Are you trying to are you giving yourself a break? Are you not standing in such a negative space in yourself that you then can extend the same grace that you give yourself, you can then extend to someone else. The same empathy you can extend to someone else. The same questions, why is this happening? What is going on? That you then can extend to someone else. And not listen to the fuckery about any of it, about yourself, with the noise that's out there, you know what I'm saying, in media world about what's happening, you know what I'm saying? And all those labels and all of that shit, that you start to develop. Instead of the world coming in giving you your opinion, you start to develop, you have a voice of your own that gives your own thoughts and understandings about what the fuck is going on around you. And then you will understand there is no spoon. None of this shit is real. This is all fabricated and created for you to have an adversary and then your group to have an adversary. And none of this shit, the spoon is not there.
And I'm leaving room, man, for the fact that we might not even be using the right terms, man. We probably ain't and some shit we gonna get, but it's just there's something that we're doing as human beings that are keeping us from seeing the reality of our world.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is not what we're being told.
That's right.
So, and I know people know that because they feel it. Mm-hmm. It's like that Matrix shit, bro.
Yeah.
Even though like when Morpheus was telling him, like, it's something you can't put your feeling, but you feel it. It's something you've been feeling.
Yep.
We know shit is wild.
Yeah.
And it's easy to label things what we label them. And we gotta spend a little bit more time. I would recommend us starting to spend more time understanding and practicing at home.
Yeah.
In our circles.
Yeah.
Listening to people.
For sure.
Trying to be better listeners and better understanders in our own lives.
Yeah.
If you can't understand the person you fucking, more than likely, you're not going to understand the person on TV who doesn't look like you, who doesn't have the same types of challenges. Let's start with the people in our circles, man. And see where it goes, and you'll find how hard it is. And if you beefing with the motherfucker you live with, more than likely you're gonna be beefing with somebody outside. But we gotta own that. And recognize that we are participating in it.
And you beef with yourself. I know for me, man, I spent a lot of time being unhappy with myself, but I have to learn how to let all that shit go so that I can be empathetic to the world, like you said, to my circle around me. You know what I'm saying? You can't carry that level of anger and frustration and critical thinking and pain and all. You can't carry that shit around and then expect to be the opposite to your immediate circle as well as to the larger circle around you. You have to be the things. You said it, man. The things that you want are the things that you have to give.
And I think, and the best way to prove it to yourself is through practice. You've gotta, cause like just saying, and I think a part of how you prove it to yourself is by being it for somebody else.
Yes.
Cause like even if you we can sit up in this house and be like, oh, I love myself now.
Right.
In theory, it's cool.
Sound good.
Practice what that shit look like.
What it look like. That's right. So that's right.
Nothing is going to, you can't get around work.
That's never.
No matter what it is.
The practice is what it is. It's the process. The process is the product. The thing that you want is what you do. So it's not a switch. You have to.
We ain't doing it to the motherfuckers. Yeah, we saying it over and over. But I think we'll be here next week. They wilding, but they ain't wilding.
Nah, they ain't burn it down yet.
Yeah, and I think we got another. I think we probably got about another 5 years. Before it all goes. I mean, and watch Biden and Kamala get in there and break some of their promises.
And
then
fuck
have
it
the other people sit back and say, "I told you." It's just all wow.
A couple wars. Gonna go down.
So we got a few more.
Yeah, you're right.
Years. But until then, man, we're gonna be making podcasts
like a motherfucker.
We're gonna be loving, helping, working, creating,
empathizing,
cussing
like a motherfucker. What you listening to, dog?
Shit. I've been listening to Dame Funk.
Damn.
Yeah, and Moody Man.
Damn.
Moody Man's my dude. I love him, man. And like that Dame Funk, I've been because I was listening to some Ice Cube shit for a minute. I always got to go back to that America's Most Wanted.
Man, that gotta be one of the. I don't know why motherfuckers don't put that on one of the greatest hip hop albums.
Because it's West Coast.
Or
because
even the
these
greatest
motherfuckers
album.
on the East Coast, they some arrogant motherfuckers.
You might be right, dog.
I can't stand East Coast.
You might be right. You might be right.
We just had a whole conversation about seeing myself. I take that back.
Yeah, you did.
We're one. There is no coast.
You're right. Yeah. But America's Most Wanted, man, is, man, I can't see an argument for a better hip hop album. I mean, I get the Tribes and I get all of them, and they're all equally amazing, but you can't say any of them are more amazing than America's Most Wanted.
And I think it just depends on how
And it still rings
feeling.
true. Everything he said in that is rings true today, and that was 20 years ago.
And I think it depends on what your mood is. I think it's like the Marvin, Stevie joint,
True.
like what you feeling. Because it's just so hard. You like what you like when you like it.
That is true.
And
that is true. And that motherfucking
because I can't listen to that shit at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But I can listen to it like after we in this joint.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that motherfucking defeats the validity of all of those lists of the greatest. And I hate even saying those, but You're right. You're right.
What about you?
Man, I've been on my Bob Marley heavy, man, with some toots and the Maytals and some of his more like, he had all his party records and those all dope, but he had some culture joints too that were, we talked some good shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always on my Bob, man. You can't.
I can't fuck with reggae, bro.
What you mean?
I can't. It's not something that reggae falls in the same category.
Watch your mouth, dog.
As country.
Watch your mouth. How?
It just doesn't. It doesn't connect with me at all. I don't like that. I can't understand what they're saying. I feel like. But
not all you thinking of dance hall reggae. Not
all that shit's wild too.
But you're not talking about, you just lumping them all together, then we just talk about?
It's the same shit, man. Like,
see what I'm saying? We just talked about it. You went right back to it.
Some of the Bob Marley joints are kind of cool. Like Barrington, what's that? Barrington Levy or something? Yeah. It's not.
Like, I can't believe you, dog. I'm disappointed.
It's not. Yeah, I just can't fuck with it. I remember this one
What
joint.
do you mean, though? I don't understand what you mean.
It doesn't resonate with me. There's nothing in my DNA that says, oh, what you feel like listening today? Let me go listen.
So how do you hear like the fellas and
that ain't
all
reggae
of those?
to me.
But it's similar. It's very similar.
Not to me. It's completely different.
But it's all African based, like rhythms. You don't hear that in reggae?
Mm-mm.
Dog, you bugging.
Don't, man. I don't say that. I think there's probably, I don't even say that out loud often. But it's shit. It's out in the open now. I just never liked reggae, bro. I never liked reggae.
But what do you? You need to explain to me about what you mean you don't like it.
It
like
doesn't resonate like country. It does not. None of it registers in my soul.
So you've never heard a country song that was like, oh, that's a dope record.
But that
like "Sail On" by the Commodores, which is a country record. That never resonated with you.
So like I said, some of the "One Love" is that the song? Let's get together and like that song is cool.
How you not know the name?
I'm not gonna never turn the motherfucker on though. This is what I'm saying.
I listen to that song all the time.
But that's why it resonates. I'm not gonna say it. When I say I don't like it, what I'm saying is that it's not registering the vibrations of the tone and the vibes are not registering. I'm not saying I never heard a song that I didn't like. That would just be dishonest.
Okay.
Same way with country. I'm not saying my dad, before he died, he got into country music. So every time I would go over his house, he'd be rocking that shit heavy.
Right.
And when I first heard it, I was like, what you doing, man? You wilding.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I would go over there and every now and then I hear a song I like. Yeah. But I'm like, am I getting ready to go? And maybe when I get 70, I'll fucking turn the switch, flip the switch, the country switch. But like right now, I got too much other shit I'm very much connected to.
Dog, I just can't. Like that touches, reggae music touches the very essence of my blackness. Like it strums the very thing that's a million years old, dog.
And the shit that connects to my blackness is the Beatles. I'm just kidding. Nah, for real though. Nah, bro.
But do you have, it
just don't connect. It just don't connect.
I don't know, man. Is there anything else like that other than country music is the obvious one because it's not culturally something you came. Maybe that's it because how you came up, you're not gonna hear a lot of reggae music.
No.
So it just doesn't connect to you historically.
No, like I didn't grow up listening to reggae.
Right.
At all.
But what did you grow up?
But I didn't grow up listening to a lot of shit.
But what did you didn't grow up with that you like now? That's not connected to what you grew up with.
House music.
But that's connected to the Stevie Wonders and the Earth, Wind and Fires and all of that. That's all sort of in the same, the faster stuff is in the same vein.
I didn't grow up really with East Coast music. I was the only motherfucker in Kansas City. My uncle hit me to him out, so I shouldn't say the only. Me and him was the only one listening to Wu-Tang, bro. Like I didn't grow, so I had kind of, I don't know. That probably don't count either. I don't know, man.
That's crazy. I think it's because you didn't grow up listening to it.
Like
so you don't have a
electronic
connection
music
to it.
probably wasn't even a thing back then. I
What?
guess electronic music.
I mean, it's house. Same
But
thing.
I did.
But you should be connected to that because Detroit and Chicago is close to you.
It was a different kind of. It was what was on the radio, bro. I was into music. Most of the shit that I digested was really Yo MTV raps type shit, like shit on TV. Like our radio station was whack, bro. Like y'all had the good shit over here.
But we also had I mean, the thing about DC, I'm pretty sure it's the same with New York, Miami, a couple other places. That culturally we can go and hear different shit in different places. You can go to a block party uptown, they be rocking reggae music the whole time. Yeah. You can go to a house party somewhere and they're playing like house music. So you would be able to go to 10 different places and hear 10 different kinds of music. You can go to 930 Club and hear punk, you know what I'm saying, hear a punk band.
That's not Kansas City.
So that's your problem.
Every single place you
was
went
the same
to
thing.
in Kansas City was pistol grip pump on my lap at all times. Pistol grip pump on my lap at all times.
But even like even like white people, it wasn't like y'all didn't have like a
white people,
huh? I mean, so y'all didn't interact with white people at all.
No.
Y'all didn't have like jazz and blues. Y'all, that was Kansas City, right? You grew up fucked up, dog. Your upbringing was some shit.
Now, mind you talking about, yes, yep, all that.
That's fucked up. I feel sorry for you, bro. We had, it was always something new. And even like we had radio stations. We had 3 major radio stations, right? Black stations. But then we had like the PFWs and the alternative. We had college stations. No. We had all kinds of shit that we can digest, different shit. And then we would go to a record store and buy the shit. Like all kinds of different shit. Dog. You came up fucked up, bro.
Solid, though.
I guess.
I'll go, it's solid.
I guess. I don't know. Was it? Dog, you don't think that level of diversity hurt your ear in terms of how you...
It didn't just hurt my ear. Shit, it hurt my everything.
That you came to know these things later? I mean, what about like the R&Bs? Would y'all like...
Yeah, R&Bs.
So you had the Stevies and the Marvins and all that shit?
I mean, you got to think, not only was that shaping my ear, it was shaping how I saw the world.
Right, right.
And how I saw myself.
Right.
So... it was an extremely narrow view.
Yeah, all you had was Albie Shore.
And no, we had a gang. I mean, we listened to R&Bs, but everybody listened to R&B because it was all the same. It was all the same shit, and it was real R&B. But like now, I've always been into the old school shit. Like always been into the old school shit. But so I'm in high school banging the Whispers. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like in high school, me and my boy would walk around the halls singing Whisper songs.
That's hilarious.
And people were like, some of our teachers knew what the fuck we was singing, but like it was either hardcore, West Coast rap,
right,
or
That's crazy.
Because we had Delphonics, bro, blasting the Delphonics. Rick James.
Dog, we had like DC, had radio stations where they will play slow jams at night.
Yeah, we had that. I mean, all like Love Talking slow jams.
DC started that.
And so like we're in the middle. We didn't have everything was like leftovers. And that's why
and you got it late.
Got digested.
Right.
Same thing. Like in my mind, it was just but it was so a lot of what I consumed, I had to kind of like search for, and that's why I stuck so hard to the old school stuff because it was just. I mean, it's what my mom was listening to.
Yeah.
It's what was readily accessible.
Yeah.
And I knew that I just liked, the sound. It's like when I came here and everybody talking about Stretch and Bobbito. I'm like, who the fuck is that? I don't know who that is.
But see, DC though, Stretch and Bobbito was shout out to them because they shit was dope. But that was definitely a New York thing that made its way through
tapes and
from
shit.
Howard and shit.
The motherfuckers bringing tapes and shit down.
Right, exactly. It wasn't a DC thing. It was mainly, in those sort of circles. But that's part of it though. We had that. Like we had access to that shit. I remember they used to bump Stretch and Bobbito at record stores, right? So they would be playing tapes at the record store, and motherfuckers be like, "What's that?" And you would, "Oh, that's so and so, that's Wu-Tang, or that's whatever," and you would go get the joint.
I think we only had that I can think about 2 record stores
in all of the city.
Yeah, one was Seventh Heaven. And it was also a head shop, and then there was another one out.
The fuck is a head shop?
Like with weed and shit.
Okay.
Like bongs and shit.
Oh, okay.
Rolling papers. Easy waters. And remember them blue like drums that used to get the seeds out of the weed when you bought them?
We ain't do that. We had to put that shit on the album cover. And you would just sift the seeds out, and the seeds would roll down into the motherfucking joint, and you get the weed. That's how it wasn't no damn automated process.
Nah, they had my grandfather had this blue thing that I tried to look one up, and it turned.
Oh nah,
and it was
fuck
plastic,
that.
and it the seeds fell out or something. I don't know exactly.
Nah,
it was something they bought. It was like if you were a weed person,
connoisseur,
which I never was.
Maybe.
But it was just like that was something that everybody had, or like you said, you
take the papers case and you take the album cover and you had to sift that shit out.
I see. I remember the hand motion.
Yeah, that's funny as shit. That shit all over the motherfucking country.
So, Moody Man.
Yeah.
Dame Funk.
Bob Marley. Go listen to Bob Marley, man. Don't listen to this guy.
Who's the other people you said?
Toots and the Maytals.
Toots and the Maytals. What is that?
Oh my God. Come on, man.
Is that reggae?
Yeah, that's reggae, man. He's one of pioneer. If it wasn't Fela has a lot of Toots. Vice versa. It could be an equal, like a lot of that, quote unquote Afro jazz and reggae, early reggae is very similar. Like in the instrumentation, in the rhythm, in the BPM, because reggae used to be very fast when it was ska back in the day. That's where reggae comes from, ska. Did you know that?
No.
So ska is fast. It's more has more.
Kind of like.
Not quite. No, that's more calypso. That's different.
No, I'm talking about like the
salsa. No, that's Spanish. That's different. Ska is Jamaican. It's the beginning of reggae music. It was fast, and then they slowed it down.
When you made that sound, that's what I heard.
Never mind. Anyway, Toots is a reggae artist. He died this year. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know. But he was a famous reggae. Toots and his band was the Maytals. Maytals. I put him in there.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, y'all. I don't hold it against him, man. He just don't know no better.
I don't. I was born in Kansas City. But I do know about that pistol grip pump on my left at all time.
What else we say? Who else we say?
We said it all.
Whispers. Gotta shout out to Whispers, man. Yeah. Scotty and Walter.
We good, man?
Yeah, we good, man.
Listening to somebody.
Yes, sir.
And remember that there is no spoon.
There's no spoon, man.
Thank y'all.
All right. Peace.
Peace.